Okay, so basically I have the bed taped off here. You can see that. And there'll be a wall here. And there's going to be an opening. Originally, we wanted the opening over here. So as we're walking down the end of the bed, we can step into the garage area. But I was going to put a short wall here because that way I can utilize this wall inside the garage area for something and have a little bit of wall, and you won't be walking right into whatever you put there. And we've flip-flopped this 100 times as far as what we want to put where. And but at any rate, we decided to go with the opening right here in the middle because even with the bus all built the way we plan, the rear window of this door will be right here. And while I'm driving, there will be a clear shot from that big mirror all the way back here. We will have a door here that we can close, but if we're driving and I want to be able to see all the way to the back and out the back window, we'll be able to do that. And we might even buy one of those magnifier square things that go on the window that really magnify everything out the back, so I have a good view. What I'm doing right now is just developing the system I'm going to use to attach the wall to the ceiling. I know a lot of people take the time to draw these things out, really put a lot of thought into it, and I'm kind of envious in a way. I just don't have that in me. I am more of a fly on the seat of your pants type of person and make adjustments as I go, and I like to just try different things, cut this, cut that, measure this, measure that, not just willy-nilly. I am putting some thought into what I'm trying to accomplish, but I'm not going to put it all on paper. So what I've come up with is I've notched out these 2x3s, which I've ripped down with wood I already have. This is no thicker than what the slat wood or the wood I'll use on top of these bracings when I put the ceiling on, so this will not interfere. But then it's giving me a solid structure in between the framing of the bus here that I can attach my wall to, because this happens to be where this wall is going to go. So anywhere I put a wall on the bus, if it lands in between, this is what I'm going to do. We are going to insulate above it like this, and then I'll insulate between here, so there's 2 inches except for where the 2x is, of course. But that's what I'm going to do. And I have here one of the beams, or one of the pieces that'll sit here. I got it backwards, but basically this will be the one edge of this back wall here. So when we're done, there'll be 2 short walls, one right here and one right here with an opening in the middle that will have a door. And then back here, we'll be able to use this as our garage area. But that's kind of what I'm working on today. I'm slowly making the measurements, because what I'm going to have is a piece going across like this. So I can attach, so now I have one solid thing I can bring all my wall studs up to, or wherever they need to be, and have a solid surface to screw to. And this last one that'll come from down there and coming up along the side here will attach to the end of this one down here. And then we can put our paneling or whatever we're going to do on the wall. But that's kind of what I'm working on today. So this is what I've come up with so far. Again, you saw these in place, and I've got this one in. And what I did is, only because I had shorter screws, I just kind of drilled the hole out. There's no sense putting a huge long screw in this thing, so I just drilled this out a little bit, and the screw is inside there into that. And I didn't want to make this any longer. I could have cut this at an angle so it went all the way to here, but I really didn't feel it's important. Again, this is not structural for the bus in any way. It's just to have a wall. No different than, building, I guess, in a house. You don't roof the whole thing and put your wall up to the roof, or the ceiling, I mean. You put all your walls in and then put your ceiling, because your rooms might have different ceilings. Now, of course, in our case, the bus here, that's not going to be true. They'll be the same, most likely all the way. But that is a short wall, number 1, up in the bus. Now behind this particular wall, actually, I've flip-flopped back and forth again. This is why I don't put it on paper, because I've seen people out there that have the whole book of all the plans, and I totally get it. You guys do, some people do a great job taking time and putting their plans down, and as many times as you change the plans when you're building these Skoolies, it for me, it just doesn't make sense put on paper. But some people, that's important. They like to have it drawn out, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just in this particular video, I talked about moving my electrical to the other side. I have since swapped back. Swap back because my toolbox is going to be over here, and it's heavy. That is why I put it there in the first place. Because on this side of the bus, we're going to have 100 gallons of water and a few other heavy items. So I'm trying to balance that out. So on that side, my toolbox will be over there, and refrigerator and stuff will be on this side. So that'll kind of help balance out some of the weight. But anyway, that is wall number 1. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but the first wall is studded in. Both sides are done. There's an opening here to go into the garage area, and there's the other side. Now I will say the only thing that's fastened is this top beam right here. Nothing else is fastened. I got to go back, disassemble it, insulate up above here, finish putting this board right here, this rail. It's going to go back all the way, and that will attach to it there. So I got to do that, and then of course we'll attach everything to the floor and get it all in place. But I wanted to get a dry fit to make sure it's exactly what we wanted, where we needed it to be. And when we put the wall up, it'll go right up in here. And of course the ceiling will go right up to it and attach to these ribs, as well as the ribs I'm going to use after we get all the insulation up like this. Although this is not done. I only threw these up here temporarily because we're going to have double layer of insulation. But the thickness of this here is about the same as what I did here when I dadoed these out of here. Well, I didn't really use a dado blade, but basically that's what I did. So when I put those other slats here, the height is the same, so the ceiling will go right up against here. And it gives me a nice solid surface to attach these walls to. Again, probably way overkill, but I have this wood. Didn't cost me anything, and we're going to build this thing with stuff that we have here before we buy as much as we possibly can. We're at a point in the build now that we have to do everything to do anything. So what I'm trying to work on is some of the wiring here. I don't want to cut the wire until I know exactly where the panel is going to be. I don't know where the panel is going to be until I get this wall up and I put the panel in place on the back side in the garage area. Once we do that, we can go back to finishing up wiring this side of the bus. And incidentally, there is more insulation going on top of this. We're using this pink stuff here. It's going to go on top in between, so there's already 2 inches on the wall plus more of that pink stuff, which will help seal. It'll go over these areas here, the bus rails framing, and then we can go back to getting more of these outlets in where we're going to want them and get it all wired, and then finish closing this side of the wall in on this side of the bus. And then we will move on to the other side, wire that side, close that side in, and then of course we're just going to slowly kind of move our way forward. There are some things again that have to happen before we can do other things. We can't do all of the ceiling stuff because we are still deciding how we're going to do a roof rack up there that'll support solar panels as well as a deck. We think we have it figured out. That'll be a future video, but we're going to probably bolt down through into these ribs. In order to do that, I want to have access to these, which means we're going to be pulling out all this insulation to do it correctly and having that up top there. Then we'll come back to that process. Well, anyway, I hope you like this video. I'll put links down in the description for anything I might have used. If I find it necessary, if it's not down there and you're interested about something, just ask me. But we have, like I said, this wall studded in, and we'll be moving on. Please take the time to like, subscribe, comment, come back often for more videos. And of course, you can always swing over to our website, lifethewildride.com. I'm not a big blogger typer. I am more of a video person. And so most of the stuff you're going to get from here. But I do put stuff on Instagram as well that you can check out there if you're interested. But anyway, thanks a lot. Have a great day. And as always, happy camping.